Hello, dear friends from Portland, Oregon. Another video to outline some of my favorite neighborhoods in this lovely city. So today, I'm down on Hawthorne Boulevard. So each Portland neighborhood sort of is defined by what's on offer. Northwest 23rd has lots of shopping, coffee, that kind of thing. Hawthorne Boulevard is more known for sort of vintage clothing, antique shopping. It also has, like you'll find in any neighborhood in Portland, you'll find lots of coffee, lots of places to eat, lots of shopping. But Hawthorne in particular, its focus tends to be vintage clothing, good deals on secondhand clothing, resell clothing, that kind of thing. One of the cool things they have here is the Baghdad Theater, which is a historic movie theater, and it was purchased by the McMiniman brothers. These guys are kind of legends in the Pacific Northwest. I think they have something like 40 to 70 different properties that they've purchased, sort of refabricated and turned into, operational, gems in the city. So the Baghdad Theater is one of those. They air or they show first-run films, older films, cult classics, that kind of thing. You'll also find another Powell's Books down here on Hawthorne. So if you don't want to go to the main Powell's down on in the Pearl District on Burnside, they have another Powell's Books here on Hawthorne. So it's a little smaller, not as big, but you can get any book in any of the Powell's locations delivered, and you can pick them up there. You'll also find a lot of great places to eat here. Places like Fried Egg, I'm in Love, which started out as a small food cart. In addition to that, you'll find ramen and several other great restaurants. There's some really great specialty stores, like Another State of Mind. You can buy sort of spooky goth stuff in there, bats and the like. And there's a lot of great little restaurants, Mexican restaurants and Thai restaurants. You can get everything from coffee to Vietnamese, banh mi and pho. So it's a really great place to spend an afternoon. I would say you could probably spend a little bit longer here in Northwest 23rd. You'd probably spend 3 or 4 hours. If you wanted to stop, you can get breakfast at the Bread and Ink Cafe and do some shopping at one of the many vintage clothing stores they have here. Stop over for some coffee, do some more shopping, maybe at Powell's or a couple other of these lovely stores down here. They have a couple areas that are like a co-op where they have several vendors selling things, so you can go from vendor to vendor and buy secondhand, used, antique, vintage items. It's one of those great areas to just sort of stroll up and down the avenue, grab a seat, grab some coffee, grab a slice of pizza, take in the sights. The area, save for a couple buildings like the one behind me, which used to be an Arby's, but they tore it down and built this sort of square, sort of silver monolith. But besides that, most of the buildings you see on Hawthorne are still sort of original to the neighborhood. This neighborhood really was more of a, kind of a hippie neighborhood, place where you could find hemp products and handicrafts and that kind of stuff. And it's sort of evolved over the years. It's sort of grown up. So you have vintage record stores and secondhand clothing stores, but it still has, unlike some of the neighborhoods in Portland, it still has it hasn't lost its soul, which sometimes development happens in neighborhoods and then all of a sudden you forget, where the neighborhood came from or what it was for, and it loses its tether to the past. Hawthorne is one of those neighborhoods that has continued to stay fairly true to sort of its roots and where it started. So not a lot of huge changes here. I mean, some of the stores have changed, but some of the stores have been here for a long time. There's a hi-fi stereo store down here. It's been here for 75 years. Nick's Coney Island, which has been here forever. So everything from, vintage retro arcade games at the Game Exchange or ice cream at Dairy Hill. You can really find pretty much everything that you'd be looking for here. It's a great place to come on a warm summer day, grab an ice cream, grab a coffee, shop for some vintage clothing, stop in for some souvenirs from your time in Portland, and really soak up what Hawthorne has to offer in terms of its Portland-ness. This really has that vibe, that Portland has to offer. You'll find a lot of local folks, a lot of friendly people, music, some of the oldest, stores, retail stores in Portland are still here. So a neighborhood that really hasn't lost its soul. It still really feels like a Portland experience.